I had to reverse the question. I said, if you find out that your sister, if you find out that your husband is cheating on you, and later you discovered, maybe through somebody, and later you discovered that somebody you call your best friend or your sister was aware and the person did not tell you, how would everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, my name is Uche. I am mother, I'm a wife, and I base here in Spain with my family. Yes, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming around, to watch my videos. And if you're just seeing my face for the first time, you saw the thumbnail by suggestion or by any which way, and you still, deemed it fit to come watch my video, you're welcome. Please, before you leave, after the video, of course, please don't forget to subscribe so that we'll be together. You get it? Okay, guys. This topic is something it's been bothering me since I saw this video, but before then, we did our women's convention. So, one of the program of the convention was Women's Forum, where I was fortunate to, ask a few women some questions. So, I now remember this video that I saw, and I decided to add this question now, to one of them. So I will tell you what the person I asked, what her answer was, and the video that prompted me to ask the question. It's just a very short clip. I want you to watch it, then I'll come back and we shall discuss this matter.
He said no. I had something to do with a girl in church. That dream I had. I said, you what? As I wanted to start shouting, he said, please, that's not all. Wait. I said, that's not all. What? He said, the person in question is pregnant. Thank you for helping me shout. Because that's how I shouted. So when I began to shout, I realized that my neighbors will hear me shout and they will think the baby has died. Because they just left. So I quickly carried a pillow and put in my mouth. I was screaming into that pillow. I was screaming and wailing into that pillow. I could not imagine that this man with whom we have been together, this man that looked like everything was okay, was actually unfaithful. They show for face.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you understood. I know the video is quite short, but I hope you understood. For people that did not understand, let me just quickly run down just a short clip. So that woman you saw preaching there is a pastor or a minister, I don't know. So she was telling us a story, she touched quite a number of things, but the one that, that got my attention is the fact that, first of all, she said she suspected that her husband was, having an affair with someone. But when she confronted her husband about it, the husband, discarded it. And so the message I got there is for women to be attentive. Be attentive, not that you'll be following your husband bumper to bumper or checking his phone all the time, but be attentive, be sensitive, okay? But that's not the case. So she said she went when she was pregnant with her second or her first child. I don't know which of the children to have the child. So she said the day she came back, unfortunately, well, I'll say unfortunate because nobody wishes to have a child that has special needs, okay? So she came back and the child had issues. The day she came back, according to her story, that night, people came and visited her to welcome her. So while people were leaving, I think she said her husband left to say he wanted to take fresh air or something like that. So when the man came back, the man said he wanted to tell her something, and what is the something? That he was having an affair. And before the woman could, swallow the fact that he was, cheating on her, the man said, and the relationship resulted, to a child. She didn't expect that kind of news at that particular time. She said she used her pillow. I could feel her pain. She said she used her pillow to put in her mouth so that people would not hear when she was screaming. A man she trusted. You heard what she said. So my question now, so what I was going through all these things, I was asking myself, this woman is a minister or whatever it is she was or she is around that place, that means she's a popular figure. Do you understand? She goes around to teach the gospel. So she's a popular figure there. That means people will know her around that area and people will know her husband. And this affair that led to a child is not today. And because she says she suspected, also shows that, that affair was not a day affair. Do you get? So what I was asking myself, how come this affair, was going on? And again, the woman that had this affair with the husband is also a worker in the church.
I was bitter because the girl that was pregnant was the leader of the single sisters in my church. She used to invite me to come and speak to the single sisters, and I didn't know something was happening. Foolish me.
And it went on and on. Nobody told this woman. This woman nobody told her until it resulted to pregnancy. Do you understand? So when we did our women's convention, I asked one of the women, assuming you find out that your friend, Kum's sister, do you understand? That's to show you how close you might be to this person. Assuming you find out that your sister or your friend, your very close friend, the husband is cheating on her, would you tell her? And she said she wasn't going to tell her. I said, okay. I had to reverse the question. I said, if you find out that your sister, if you find out that your husband is cheating on you, and later you discovered, maybe through somebody, and later you discovered that somebody you call your best friend or your sister was aware and the person did not tell you, how would you feel? And she was helpless. And why I asked, even after the service, I started asking some of the women if they would tell. And they were giving me reasons that if you find out that your friend is cheating on the husband and you tell the woman, it might bring a misunderstanding between you and the woman. It might break the marriage and all that. That I used to think that way, but before. But when I saw this woman's picture, saw her video and things that are happening, I started to rethink. Now, what I was thinking was, this particular woman, we saw her video. Like I said, she's a popular figure. Her husband should be, if she is, then the person is a worker. You will not tell me that there is nobody in that church or in that area that was aware that they were having an affair. And nobody deemed it fit to tell her. Because if I tell her, marriage will end. For example, again, Yul Edochie, Abi Yul Edochie. During the time of that controversial, when the first time he announced his wedding, I read a comment under one of his videos, and someone said in that Asaba region that it wasn't a shock to them when you announced the thing because they were everywhere together. And nobody told the wife because they didn't want to end their marriage. Then eventually, you did not say. Eventually, what is going on now? Did the marriage end or the marriage did not end? So my thought about this thing, sometimes things will be going. There's an adage in my village. They said, "Oku mmadu na-aga n'azụ." It is somebody that is close to you that will tell you that your mouth is smelling. Your word and things about you can be going around. Except somebody that loves you, that is close to you. See, before I used to think, like that, like, what will I gain if I tell this woman and her marriage ends? But how will I now feel if that my friend discovers that the husband is cheating and that I am aware? How will I face that my sister or that my friend? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I feel, for me, it's very important. Women supporting women. I feel it's very important. We are saying that we don't want to spoil the marriage. You don't want the relationship to spoil. There are some hard truths that only somebody that loves you, somebody that is close to you, that should tell you. Something like this. For example, I have this, my friend. There was a time we were discussing, not about relationship though. We were discussing about someone that I know that had an issue that I was scared. I didn't know how to present the issue to her. So she also told me the same thing I'm saying now. There are some hard truths that you need to tell somebody you love. The person might get angry with you at that time, But later, the person will truly know that this information or whatever it is you're telling her, was actually for her own good. So she was telling me that when she was much younger, she had this lump on her breast. So the mom was always telling her they'll go for this prayer meeting, they'll go for this prayer. Meanwhile, the doctors had told her to come so that they will remove the lump. Okay? So one day she said her sister came into the room and asked her, have you gone to the hospital so that they will, remove this thing? She said, no, remaining, let them go to the hospital, something like that. The sister told her, in her head, like, you have been doing all these things until this lump, eventually develops to cancer. Then they'll cut off your breast and you will die, something like that. At that point, when she said that was harsh. But that was what she needed at that time to save her life. So sometimes we look beyond the present implication of what we are going to do. Okay, look at this Yul Edochie. If somebody had told the wife, they might have a misunderstanding, the relationship will spoil, but she will save her marriage. She would have saved that relationship before it resulted into a child. The only thing I will say though is before you say it, check the temperament of the person. Not that you will just come out and say, I saw your husband, cheating on you with that particular girl. The way I'm seeing myself, I will say, the only thing I will do is I will be giving you, checks. Don't you think this thing is just for you to bring your mind to the fact that your husband is cheating, so that if eventually you find out, you will not see me as a betrayer. When I saw this video of this woman, when I heard that particular side, which some of them would have been prevented if somebody had owned up, faced whatever it is, to tell the woman, I think it would have saved her a lot of problem. Now she has a child outside marriage to deal with. She has a child of special need to deal with, which I feel might be avoided if somebody has told her. So my question to you now is this. If you find out that your sister's husband, let me use sister, because there are friends that are closer, that are just, they are too close and they are like sisters to you. That's the friends I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a passerby, because a passerby can just throw word at you that will hurt you. What I'm talking about is somebody that when the person is hurt, you're hurt. Imagine that your sister's husband is cheating, and you don't want to tell the person because the husband, it will end the relationship or whatever reason. Then your sister will come, or that your friend will come and explain to you that her husband's character has changed, and you know that it's because of his extramarital affair, and you just tell her it's going to be okay, when hey, me, the one I'm seeing myself, I will talk. Before I used to think like that, like I said, but the way I'm seeing myself now, after watching that video and some of the things I'm seeing that is happening around now, most of the time things spoil, because we are looking at what will people say. How is she going to take this thing? Sometimes you take the bull by the horn. So my question to you today, if you find yourself in that kind of situation where your sister's husband is cheating, won't you tell her? Won't you find a way to tell her so that her marriage will not break? That information, I'm not sure, is meant to break a marriage if the information is relayed well. But a lot of people I asked said they will not say that. Sometimes it might lead, someone said, I will try and stop the husband. And the other person said, you might tell the husband, if the husband is aware that you're aware of the relationship with another woman, the man might want to kill you. I had suggestions like, I will find out why the man is cheating. If it's because the wife is not dressing well, then I will tell the man to stop, I will tell the woman to start dressing well. I don't think that's a reason for a man to cheat. If the woman doesn't dress well, she doesn't take care of herself, it's not a reason for a man to cheat. If your wife is not dressing well, there are ways to solve those kind of problems. Okay, let's talk about Yul Edochie. Does the first wife, doesn't she dress well? When we start comparing, but he cheated on the wife, and it's not like it's a mistake like that, from what I gathered. So it's not basically because of dressing, but there's something that should be done, because if you check your wedding day, the way the man looked on the wedding day and the way the woman looked, most of the time there are changes. So if you want your wife to change, some men are slim. When they get married, their pot bellies come out. Abi? So if the pot belly of the woman comes out and you feel she needs to change, you too, you need to change. You dress up and take her to the gym. Then two of you, can do it together. That is not a basic reason for a man to cheat, if you ask me. But women, of course, if you know me, you know I'm an advocate of women taking care of themselves. Okay, but for me, I don't think, because women have a lot of burden on themselves, not only on themselves, upon themselves, because it's not something they choose. It's something that naturally comes to them. Responsibility, immediately you get married, you start having responsibility, okay? So that is not enough reason for a man to cheat. After all, if a man was rich and all of a sudden he gets down and he's not capable financially, a woman is meant to stick with the husband. So why would a man cheat on the wife just because she doesn't dress well, or because all of a sudden she changed? People just use that as an excuse to cheat on their partner. So yeah, I know this ending of this video is all over the place, but the main question now is, will you tell? Will you tell your sister? Will you tell your best friend if you find out that the husband is cheating? Will you tell her? And especially when she comes to you to complain that she feels her husband is cheating, or she complains of change of attitude towards the husband, and will you allow her to go? You see her tears. You know that she's dying. And you feel that if you tell her, it's going to end her marriage. Meanwhile, you see that she's dying. Brethren, my sisters, women supporting women, let me know. Let me know if the problem is from me or from the way I'm thinking. Because after watching that video, I'm like, nobody will tell me, out of the people that knew that woman there, do they want to tell me that none of them knew about this affair? And still nobody told her until it resulted to a child. Even though God fought for her, but that's aside my point. Please let me know what you think. Let us dissect this matter properly, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.